This is the ultimate guide to Enchanted Witchcraft in Minecraft. I'm going to be showing you everything that you could need to know to do this mod. So, when you first get into the mod, you may want to make a guide of Witchcraft. And that basically is going to need some basic ingredients and a belladonna seed. So how do we get belladonna? Well, as you can see here, we have belladonna, water artichoke, mandrake, snowbell, wolfsbane, garlic, and I've done wolfsbane again. So how do we get these plants? Because there is quite a few of them. Well, if you go into the book that you can't make yet, because I haven't showed you how to get belladonna, go into herbology, and we can see here, belladonna, dropped by tall and short grass. And then you can just plant the seeds like you would with any other crop. Same with water artichoke, but you do it onto water, and it can be eaten. Mandrakes, again, dropped by tall and short grass. Snowbell, wolfsbane, and garlic. They're all dropped the same way. You get the item plus the seeds. And the only thing to mention is that when you break a mandrake, now I'm in creative, so I've broken it, a little mandrake will pop out, and you'll have to kill it. And you can wear earmuffs in order to get rid of its scream, because, you know, mandrakes are loud and scary. So that's how you get your belladonna, that's how you make the guidebook. There's a lot of other flowers and plants, like these ones here. However, we won't be able to do these quite yet, so don't worry. These are the starter ones. So the next thing we're going to make is a witch's oven. Made very simply from vanilla ingredients, we can place down our witch's oven as shown, and then on the sides of it, you're going to want to put some fume funnels. Again, made with simple vanilla ingredients. This is going to help get your output yield higher. So I can put one here, and it will automatically connect. I can also add one on top, and that's only going to add a decorative chimney that won't actually do anything. What we can also do is make fume filters. As you can see in the book, adding fume funnels to the left and right will drastically improve yield. A third one can be added for the chimney. And adding fume filters will guarantee success. So I think sometimes when you're cooking, imagine you're making iron into an iron ingot. I guess sometimes it can fail with this kind of thing, and these will guarantee it. Now, the recipe doesn't seem to be in JEI, but it is in the book with just glass, iron, and an attuned stone. An attuned stone being a whiff of magic, a diamond, and a lava bucket. Now, I know that you don't know how to get a whiff of magic yet, and this is just for the fume filters. Sorry if my voice is a bit lispy today. I've just had jaw surgery when I'm filming this, so I do apologise. I'm a hard worker, I can tell you that. I literally had jaw surgery yesterday, so I can't talk quite properly, but I'm bored out of my mind and must get on with these mod videos. So a whiff of magic is made in the witch's oven, which we've obviously just seen. So how do we use the witch's oven? Well, inside it, we can put clay in the bottom. So as you can see in just enough items here, we have clay jars. Basically, you can smelt these in a smelter from soft clay jars made as shown. And we're going to pop those into this slot here. And then at the top, we put our ingredient. For example, if we put an oak sapling in, we get wood ash, but we also get some horned ones exhale. So all I need to do is put my oak sapling up here, and then actually just use some coal or something alike to heat it up. And there we go, the witch's oven is being used. And now we've got our horned ones exhale and our wood ash. There's also a more advanced version called the Distillery. So with the Distillery, we can see that we can make even more advanced things using clay jars. So if we look at the Distillery, for example, and I press U, we can see that if we put ender pearls in, we get ender dew and whiff of magic. Now, whiff of magic, remember, is needed to make those attuned stones that I mentioned you need for the filters on your fume funnels to make it guaranteed. But with, not the whiff, the Distillery, however, no, ignore me. No, yeah, you get your whiff of magic, then we can make our attuned stones. However, yes, the Distillery needs an attuned stone. I got a bit confused there in a bit of a loop. Could you tell? But you need to actually make an attuned stone to make the Distillery in the first place. Well, that still needs a whiff of magic. But if we don't have our Distillery, well, how can we make our whiff of magic? Well, there's also the witch's oven. As you can see, we can actually make a whiff of magic in the witch's oven, which I've already shown you, using a rowan sapling. But how do we get a rowan sapling? Well, remember in herbology, I said that there's mutated plants. As you can see, there's Mutandis in a cauldron. And rowan trees are made from mutating a oak sapling. So the first thing we need to do is actually get a witch's cauldron. Simply place a cauldron down and use anointing paste on it. Anointing paste is going to need the 4 seeds that we got earlier. And ta-da, witch's cauldron. Put a campfire or a fire beneath it, put it full of water, and there we go. Now in the witch's cauldron, we can do a few things. For example, we can make Mutandis and Neverwort into Mutandis Extremis, but it's going to need 7,000 altar power, and the altar is not something we have access to yet. Well, we do have access to, but I haven't shown you. What we can see, however, is if we put Mandrake Root, Horned One's Exhale, and an egg in, we will get 6 Mutandis. So let's do that now. I'm going to put in that order, my Mandrake Root, my Horned One's Exhale, and my egg. And as you can see, once put in the right order, we start getting all these swirls coming out of the cauldron. Then, once the swirling stops, we can right-click and get out our Mutandis. So how do we then mutate our plants? As you can see here, if we want to make a oak sapling into a rowan, we need to use belladonna, mandrake, wolfsbane, and water artichoke. And we need to surround the plant with that. So what I'm going to do is plant down my sapling. And then what you want to do, I've already done it off camera, oak sapling, and then right-click it with the Mutandis, and you'll see purple bits come off it. And then basically, you put nearby the items that will help it mutate. So for this one, it is mandrake, belladonna, wolfsbane, and water artichoke. And adding more of them should help speed this up, or the chance for it to mutate. And we can see here, for example, rowan trees. We need to add, like I said, belladonna, mandrake, wolfsbane, and water artichoke. Now we can use acacia or birch saplings, but they won't work as well as an oak sapling will. And this is basically the same for making hawthorn trees, alder trees, Spanish moss, glintweed, ember moss, and blood poppies. Now, eventually, it will turn into a rowan sapling as long as the tree does not grow before. Don't worry if it doesn't seem to be working. It can take a while. What I would recommend is maybe setting up like 10 of these or 5 of them if it's taking a while to increase the chances, as it can be random, I think. But either way, it takes a while. So then we get our rowan sapling. That's how you do mutations. And now we can use the rowan sapling in the witch's oven to make a whiff of magic, to then make our attuned stones, which we can use for lots of fun things like our fume filter or our distillery. Now, I've already showed you how the distillery actually works, but there's one more thing to it. The distillery, when used, will take power from a nearby altar. This here is the altar. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it turns into an altar. Now, an altar, as you can see when I right-click on it, mine has 511 power. But if I delete these poppies and all of these plants, I've only got 479, 475. Basically, adding lots of different flowers around your altar will increase its power, because the altar draws from natural nearby enemy and energy of the flowers. Now, there's a few upgrades we can make to our altar to make it even better. If we look at the altar, we can see I've got 491 power, but if I go in here and put in all my ender pearls and take this out, what you can see that while the distillery is working, it's drawing from my nearby altar. So to increase the recharge rate, we can use torches, candles, or candelabra. I recommend just going straight up to candelabra because they're really easy to get. So torch upgrades. We can see that a torch adds 0.5 recharge rate to the altar's power. A candle is 1, that's a Minecraft candle, and a candelabra times 2s it. So I would just get a candelabra and plop it on here. Now you can only have 1 of each, and as you can see, it's now recharging really quickly. We also have skull upgrades, adding power capacity and recharge rate. Skeletons give 1, wither is 2, player is 2.5 and 3. Now, one thing you can do is actually get the Arfana, which is a simple blade that when used on skeletons will drop their skull. So it makes it a lot easier. There's also a few other ones that we can get that aren't obviously relevant to the altar. Bats drop wool of bat. The button's not working. Wolves drop tongue of dog, creeper hearts from creepers, and the skeleton skulls, which we need for our altar. There's also the chalice, which is going to give ×1 power capacity. Just needs a gold and a tuned stone. And then the chalice filled, which is using redstone soup, which we're going to be using on a kettle, which I haven't shown you yet. So I'm just going to get my wither skull, place it on the altar, and suddenly now I've got 1500 power. So what you may notice is that some of the things we're probably going to look at now, which is brewing, is you're going to need quite a lot of altar power. As you can see here at your cauldron, you will need 3000 altar power to use flying ointment to infuse broomsticks. Redstone soup needs 1000 altar power, but you do need a drop of luck. And this is made in a kettle. A kettle is basically the same thing, apart from it's a smaller version that looks like this. So redstone soup, which is what you use in your chalice, only needs 1000 altar power. However, it needs a drop of luck. And a drop of luck is actually going to need 7000 altar power. There's nothing in the mod at the time of filming that needs more than 7000. If you want to see what this one has, it's nearly 5000 altar power. And as we can see, I've gotten some garlic and some other crops. Crops from Enchanted Witchcraft will actually give you more power than vanilla crops and flowers, but I am using vanilla flowers here as well. Pumpkin, beetroot, melon, and what I found that adds a hell of a lot is the trees from Enchanted. So a rowan one, an alder one, and a hawthorn one, but I could add an oak sapling as well. That's going to be absolutely fine, which will then take it from... Did that add another 100 maybe? What I might do is then get like a spruce sapling, a birch sapling, a jungle sapling, etc. Now, one secret ingredient you can use which adds a lot of altar power are pitcher plants, which are found by sniffers. They are really good. So this altar here now has 7760, which is more than enough for everything you need in the mod. Let's have a look at what I've done to achieve that. So I've used quite a few trees, mostly from the mod, a few alders, etc. Loads of different flowers from Minecraft, a few enchanted ones like glintweed, which is from Mutations, water artichokes, vanilla Minecraft flowers, pumpkin, melon, pitcher plants, lilac peonies. I've used like one birch, one cherry, one jungle, etc. Yeah. So not a huge area really that I've had to use, and it's quite pretty actually. I quite like it. And that's got 7760 power. So it is quite achievable fairly easily. Now with 7000 altar power, we can make things like the drop of luck here, which will need all of these, like a tear of the goddess, Mutandis Extremis, and Refined Evil, in order to make our redstone soup, which only actually needs 1000 altar power. Don't forget to get the tongue of dog and the wool of bat. You need to use the Arfana sword. There is also quicklime, which you may need, which you can just cook up calcite from Minecraft to get. And then you will want to get gypsum out of that. And gypsum is made in the distillery with some foul flames, which you'll just get from, putting up saplings and other things in your witch's oven. And with some quicklime as well, and you'll get some gypsum and oil of vitriol there. So that's another ingredient that you will be needing for things like your ritual chalk. Now, ritual chalk is going to be needed, again, in the Witch's Cauldron in this area. As you can see, it needs about 2000 altar power to make these chalks. And this is going to be for drawing circles on the ground for doing basically spells and rituals. Now we have circle magic. So it's quite simple, and we can do a lot of like rituals and things like this with it. So you're going to need your chalks, which you make in the cauldron, needing a maximum of 3000 power. And then you need to put the golden chalk in the middle. So you just place it down like that. Want to get rid of it? Well, you can make a broom. So let's get the broom, and I can just sweep it away. Oh, well, you should be able to sweep it away. Yeah, there you go. It works on the white ones anyway, if you place them wrong, etc. So what you need to do is place down your gold one. It does need to be nearest your altar, because obviously these rituals will take power. And then do a circle, 2 circles like this. Now in the book, it will show you what circles you need. For example, if you want to make a waystone, you just need your gold circle in the middle and then the small white circle around it. So space, space, and then 3, 1, 3, you know, like this. Whereas if we want to do a charging stone one, you can see that it needs the gold one in the middle, the white circle around it in white chalk, and another white circle around it, which would look as shown. Whereas if I want to transpose iron, which basically will pull up all of the iron from beneath the earth beneath it, I'd have to use purple chalk, and it would need to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 3 diagonal, and then 7 in purple. But the book tells you all of them and the colours needed. Like this one would only need a larger white circle, but not the inner one. So let's go through some of these then. I'm going to show you how they work. So I'm going to be making a attuned stone, charged, which we would need in something like a rite of binding to make some waystones, which I'll then show you. So all I need to do is throw down my glowstone, my wood ash, my redstone dust, my quicklime, and my attuned stone in the middle of these circles, and right click the golden chalk in the middle. It'll start absorbing the items, and then after the ritual is done, it'll pop out with the item. Very simple. If it doesn't work, then consider that you may have used the wrong chalk circles. Refer to the book, or maybe you don't have enough power in your altar, for example. Those would be the 2 main reasons why a ritual wouldn't work. Of course, you could have just placed down the wrong items. So if you use this waystone one here, basically what will happen then is it will take the position of where the ritual was done, and you can use that waystone in other circle magic rituals in order to do something at a certain place. So put these items in. So your attuned stone you've just made, use these other items with just one smaller white circle, and you'll get an attuned waystone for that area. Then what you want to do, well, I don't know, do you want to do it? Maybe you do, is if we go to creature, imprisonment, or no, not that one, protection, summon an impenetrable dome which can only be passed through by sneaking players. Adding a bound waystone, allows the caster to summon the dome at a different location. Now, an actual waystone itself is made using a bone needle, which is made as shown, very simple. I'm just going to get that. My glowstone. And there we go. Right click the item in the middle, the gold chalk. And then what I get back, I actually keep my crystal, nice. What I get back is a bound waystone, and it shows the coordinates. So then, for example, under binding, creature, protection, I'm going to be using glowstone dust, obsidian, and my bound waystone. One other thing, you must put them in the area around the glyphs. Not on the glyphs, but around the glyphs like I am doing here. There we go. I'm going to use those items, and there we go. I had my impenetrable barrier. So if I made the bound waystone like over here, and then done this ritual, obviously it would do it over here where I made the bound waystone for that location. But obviously I'm doing it in the same place, so it made it in the same place. But that's basically how you use these waystones, etc. There's a lot of different ones on here. Familiars, it says that you can put familiars in the area. So you put these items in the area, and then you put an animal inside this area. It says the familiars chapter discusses this in greater detail as to which animals can be used. However, I think there's going to be like an owl, something else, but they're not implemented at the time of filming, hence why there's nothing in this chapter. We also have the broomstick here, which can be imbued with the power of flight using flying ointment, creating a classic and effective means of transportation. So that's flying ointment here. Flying ointments, etc., are made in brewing, which we've already looked at. Like flying ointment would just be using the kettle, so the smaller type of cauldron, and putting these items in, and you would need redstone soup for that, which of course is going to use 7,000 altar power to get your drop of luck. But here is the broomstick. Basically, I can place it down, right click to get on it, and jump, etc. And to go down, you press sneak. To jump, you go up. It's very, very cool, very nice, very simple. Really cool item to the mod. But that is circle magic. So what else is in circle magic? Broiling, summoning a ring of flames to rapidly cook all raw foods in it. There's fertility, there's a forest one. There's a few that you can read through, but I've shown you how to do them all. It's kind of self-explanatory on what they do, and it does tell you in here. There is also curses, which basically are the same. They just have negative effects instead, basically. Like blight, all near flowers, etc. will decay, and animals will be sick, and villagers will be turned into zombies. Oh dear, it's not easy. Lastly, we have poppets. These can do a wide range of things, so let's see how we make them. First of all, you need to make a poppet. A basic poppet is made as shown. An infused poppet, which is a bit stronger, will require some altar power and is made at the spinning wheel from a base poppet and a tuned stone and an ender pearl, and sturdy poppets from Hint of Rebirth and a shield, making the sturdy one. If we're looking, for example, at the armor poppet, you can see you've got an armor poppet, an infused poppet, and a sturdy one, all using the same ingredients apart from the actual poppet used, and you do need to place them fairly close to your altar because they will need power. So make your spinning wheel, put your poppets in the top, and then we're going to make an armor poppet, which is going to be diamond boots and Hint of Rebirth. So I'm going to put my diamond boots in. I'm going to put in my rebirth, and literally it spins the poppet, and what's going to come out, there we go, took about 5-10 seconds, is an armor poppet. Now, what do these do? Well, in the book, you've got poppetry, armor. So basically, when your gear breaks, it will restore durability. Earth. If the beneficiary take full damage to die, they will instead live on 1 health. When infused, they'll also gain full resistance for 10 seconds. Fire. They remain at 1 health instead of burning to death. It's the same with water, which is on the next page. Hunger. They won't starve to death. Magic. Taking fatal magic damage won't kill you. Tool. Protects a piece of handheld equipment from destruction when it breaks. So the item will break, and then it'll stop that from happening. Void. They fall into the void. Oh, wow, this is a good one. You won't be. Voodoo. An effigy used to transfer damage to their target. Burning a voodoo puppet in fire or lava, drowning it, or poking needles into it will instead harm the target. Oh, that is nasty. And then we can also make a voodoo protection one. And it's really as simple as that. The only other things I haven't shown you properly at this point is going to be Mutandis Extremis, which is a more powerful version of your Mutandis that requires 7,000 altar power in the Cauldron. Tag lock kicks you may need for a few different things. Sometimes you may need to represent another person to perform magic, like in the circle magic where you're using a person for the bloodstones. You can use this on a person or on their bed, and it will, like if you're doing the protection thing, it would rather than doing it to a location, it will do it to that player. And there we go. That's everything you need to know to play the Enchanted Witchcraft mod. I hope this was really helpful for you. Check out the channel, as I have an insane amount of mod guides, and I'm always adding more. We also are launching servers for our community, and you can join that via Discord or by checking out the streams that I do every Monday. Don't forget to subscribe, of course.